players are gonna play our level, and it's gonna be a competition of who can keep their sanity the longest. Cast Voltron. Let's go! Let's go! I beat it! Trilogy done! Trilogy done! Yes! I did it! I did it proud. I really hope I'm recording. Let's go! I did it! Oh my god. That was out of nowhere. Yes! Oh, dude, yes! It's about time. It's about time.
You sheep.
He who thinks it, does it. That sounded way better in my head.
What did you say?
You said he who thinks it does it.
Alright, I gotta go. I finished my cake.
Charlie,
He who
Charlie.
thinks it does it.
That's good.
He who thinks it does it.
He who thinks it does it.
My favorite Mecha collab is Dark.
You are the only person to have ever said that. Like, even as a joke.
Dark.
Dart. The best Geometry Dash level.
Player?
Average Discord fan, average Google Meet enjoyer,
The average Google Meet enjoyer is just like a picture of Zach.
average. No, it's like that meme where it's like a really buff guy. And the guy's like, Google Meet enjoyer is the buff one, by the way.
Yeah. No, I don't personally agree with that, but to each
No,
their
no.
own.
No.
Who doesn't manga
Among
like
Us.
though?
I do.
What if they didn't
Oh,
get
no.
Oh no, what?
Guys,
Oh, what?
imposter is sus.
No!
No, the imposter can't be sus.
Imposter can't be
What if he
sus.
was
No.
sus?
No.
No, I don't even
Right.
lie.
Wait, no, then he would just get voted out.
Yeah, he'd get voted out if he was sus.
Rejected.
Then why is he still here?
Yeah, if
Why
he
is
was
still-
sus, he would be gone. He'd be long gone.
Yeah,
Why
if
are we
he was
still
sus,
here?
he'd be
Just
long
to
gone.
eject the imposter.
If I check the imposter availability list,
The imposter availability list?
yeah, bro.
Are you going
better
to?
check
Are you
it.
gonna go like have
For
an interview to
availability
become?
list.
Are you gonna have
Yeah,
an
you get
interview to
interviewed,
be, like
what?
become the imposter?
Yeah.
What qualities
hey,
does
so-
the imposter need? Sus?
Sus? Yeah, sus. That's like
All
the
the-
main-
I'm playing Lucky Block Skywars. I rolled a 1 and exploded.
What? Did I just hear imposter? Is that what I just hear?
Is
You
it?
better have known that.
Insuster from Apostas?
Insuster. Insuster.
Insuster
Don't
is
say
far.
that. Please don't say insuster.
Please.
I thought you meant the Insuster from Impostas?
Insuster.
Imposter. Imposter.
Impostas. Insuster.
Imposter sauce. Sauce. Imposter sauce.
Your mother.
Imposter sauce.
I
That's
fucking
it.
hate the gum.
No, he's gnarly. He's so
I
cool.
fucking hate the gum.
What
friend
do you have against
demon.
why? Explain. Reason.
He's ugly and terrifying and he's horrible and I hate
You are
him.
getting canceled.
So
on
mean.
Twitter.com.
You're
I hate him
So
so
mean.
much!
You're getting
I'm gonna
canceled.
type it in Big Boy Chat and Dream. I'm going to Dreamlight Discord. I'm opening up Big Boy Chat and I'm typing fuck.
No.
I've done
No.
it. It's been done. People in my
No.
video. I'm glad the Gump isn't in your videos.
No.
add one part of Discord audio of me saying "Let's go." I am the. Welcome to the underground. How was the fall?
How was
If
it?
you
You
wanna
look
around,
around.
give us a
Give
call.
us a call.
We don't see humans often. I know the entire thing for some reason.
Why do you know the entire thing?
No. But again. Dude, I am a story of Undertale fan. No. You said it wrong. I fell from the like talk or should I fight monster genocide. This my Undertale.
This is my
Get it right next time.
Undertale. Okay, here's the review section of the video, and like where I give my opinion on the level, and well, here it goes, I guess. The first ship in Aftermath is a lot like the 70 ship in Cataclysm, but just more inconsistent and like overall more difficult. I don't really know what to say about it, but it's just really annoying, and like it's a bad way to start off the level. You like die here a lot. This is where most of your attempts end. Then you get to a transition part, which is just, other than just showing the title, just its only purpose is to make the wave transition more inconsistent, I guess. If you die here, you suck. Once you get into the first wave, it's a lot like Cataclysm, but just more inconsistent. As you can see, there's a theme here in this level. The mini-wave parts are definitely the hardest part of this section, and this wave is just overall, like, I don't know, it's either super consistent, or, like, you're passing it, like, every single attempt, or you can't get past 20% for, like, 15 minutes straight. It's really strange. I don't know how that, like, works, but it's just a thing you have to deal with when you're trying to beat this level. Most of the timings here are just manageable, except for the last click and the double click, or however you do it. I'll just show a picture. The ball is pretty easy. I think it's the easiest part of the level in my opinion, but the only hard part of this is the 30% like corridor double click and the 2 like clicks right after it. It's just pretty easy to die there. Transition is kind of weird too, because it just depends on how you hit the yellow orb. Like, you can go into slightly different positions in the ship, which just completely change it just because of how it works. Once you get past the ball, you reach Vulture's part, which I think this is tied with the wave is the hardest part of the level, which is good because it's at the very beginning, but it's also pretty hard and inconsistent. There's just a certain click pattern that you have to do every time, and if you do something slightly different than what you usually do, it just throws off the entire section and you die, which is kind of infuriating and just like it's just frustrating overall. You're either getting here, like as I said before, like every attempt, or you're just stuck at just the first wave and ship for like 20 minutes straight. I don't know really how to feel about that, but it's just, yeah, something you have to deal with. The UFO after Vultra, this is like when you know this is a solid attempt, and like if you focus hard enough, like you can beat it from this point on. This is where, yeah, this is like the CFO, I think it's like the guy who made it, his name is like RHY or something, but the level like slowly starts to decrease in difficulty from like the super hard parts before it. It's pretty easy to choke here, but if you practice it enough, like it should be fine. The only hard part of this is like the double orbs, like the 2 just blue orbs, which I don't know, timing it's kind of weird. After that you get to a small ship transition, and it's just, I somehow died here 3 times, but it's just a really annoying section, even though if it's like half a second long. then you get to the 56% cube. It's really awkward, like from 0, but it's like pretty easy from a start position. It's like similar to Etzer's part in Bloodbath. It's like not that hard practicing it, but from 0 it becomes way harder. I died here a grand total of 25 times from 0 in between 56 and 70. There's just 3 points which are like equally as difficult, which like are the main sections you die to. There's a 63% like triple spike, which is just pretty bad. It's not a triple spike, what am I saying? It's like a 5 spike, but it's equivalent to doing a triple spike in like normal speed. Then there's like a small micro click on a blue orb, which I died to a fair amount of times. And then at 67 there's another blue orb, just timing, you have to time it late, which I died there 8 times at 67, which it was not a fun time, but whatever. Doesn't really matter now. It's just a weird part in general. It's just a bunch of awkward timings back to back. Next, there is, I don't know who made it. I didn't care to read the name, but it's like a 70% robot. It's just, overall, it's like the cube section before it, but just much easier, continuing the downward trend of difficulty, becoming like a lot easier. There's 2 parts that are pretty bad. It's just a really weird straight fly section, which just depends completely on how you do the orb support, which I did not realize sooner than I should have. But you pass that, and like you rarely pass it. You're doing like a straight fly section, and like it's a really bad robot transition out of it, and if you don't buffer the orb early enough, or if you're flying too high, the section just becomes impossible, and like you hit an upside down portal and just you can't hit the orb inside of it and just fly to your doom. The last few micro clicks of it are like a pretty bad part as well, and have claimed many lives of people that have beat Aftermath. You do that, and just the song starts to slow down, which is kind of nerve-wracking, and you get to a dual ship at 80%, which is like really awkward. It's not really that bad, but it's just really easy to choke at. I'm glad I never died there from 0 somehow. There's like two different ways to do it. You could either like fall down, or you could just like hold up into it. I found holding up into it was more consistent, but it's really personal. Personal preference on which one you find better. I just wanted to point out that there was 2 ways to do it if you're struggling with it or something. There's a mini ship after that at 83, which is really bad because I suck at mini ship, and I died there 4 times. Like, I died there once at, I'm too lazy to look actually. But I just died there 4 times, and I suck at mini ship. The upside down portal in the middle of it that turns you back into like normal size is really annoying and super easy to choke at and die if you aren't prepared for it and if you haven't practiced it enough. Then there's like a few cures which are not bad if you survive the initial transition. The last wave is a really killer part. It's really difficult. It's like the 3rd hardest part of the level in my opinion, and it's at the very, very end. Most people who have beat this level have died here at least once, and every part in the wave section is equally as difficult as like everything else in it. Like, one part of the wave isn't easier than the other. I died here twice, once at 90 and another at 94, which really sucked because it's the last click of the wave. The part looks pretty good too, I'd have to say. You get through that, and you're at the final stretch, it's the last ship. The transition into it's kind of bad, because doing a ship into, or doing a wave into a ship transition, like, rarely ends up well, but transition's bad, and just the rest of it's pretty easy, but granted it's at the very end, and you could still pretty easily die. It's not over yet, but you pass the final quarter gap, and then it is, you beat the level. Overall, this level is very strange. It's like, to sum it up very drastically, it's like Cataclysm, but just way harder and somehow more inconsistent. Sadly, it's a must if you plan to finish the trilogy like I did. This level is either insufferable or it's kind of fun, fully depending on if you're consistent at it or not. And you could be making it to Vulture every attempt, or you'll be stuck at the first ship for like half an hour. Or basically, that's an exaggeration, but like you'll be there for a while and it'll feel like half an hour. Overall, I'd say this level is a 4 out of 10. It'd usually be a lot lower, but in January, right after I beat Bloodbath, I actually was going for this, and that didn't go well. The best I got in January was 67, but coming back to it, I expected it to be like really painful to relearn it and stuff, but it wasn't that bad, and I only beat it like 4 days after I came back. I would not recommend this if you just want to play it for what the level is and like just on its own, but yeah, as I said before, if you plan to finish the trilogy, it's a must. And yeah, it's not as bad as some people would make it out to be, I guess, but yeah, that's the level. Yeah, alright, see ya.